It was a cold Sunday morning when I returned home earlier than usual. I had been on a short business trip, and I wanted to surprise my wife, Sarah. I picked up her favorite breakfast on the way and smiled the whole drive home, thinking of how happy she'd be to see me. But the moment I stepped through the door, something felt wrong. The house was too quiet, yet I could hear faint sounds coming from our bedroom upstairs, sounds that didn't belong in a home meant to be full of trust and love. My heart started to race as I walked up the stairs, each step heavier than the last. I pushed open the door, and the world around me fell apart. There she was, my wife, with my best friend, Daniel. The man who stood beside me at my wedding. The one who had been like a brother to me. Both froze when they saw me, and I stood there, numb, unable to believe what my eyes were seeing. My hands trembled, not from anger, but from heartbreak that cut deeper than I could handle. Sarah tried to speak first. "It's not what it looks like," she whispered, covering herself as if that would make it less real. But it was exactly what it looked like. Daniel avoided my gaze, mumbling something about making a mistake. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I just stared at them, feeling the weight of betrayal pressing against my chest. The breakfast bag dropped from my hands, spilling its contents on the floor, a symbol of everything I had planned to share with her, now meaningless. I walked out of that room silently. Sarah ran after me, begging me to listen, but I couldn't. My mind was a storm of emotions, disbelief, anger, sadness. I got in my car and drove without knowing where I was going. The road blurred before my eyes as tears streamed down my face. All the memories of our years together, the laughter, the promises, the plans, replayed like a cruel movie I couldn't turn off. That night, I sat in my friend's old cabin by the lake, staring into the water. I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about how easily both of them had thrown away everything. By morning, my pain had turned into something sharper, not hatred, but determination. I didn't want to fight, but I couldn't let them walk away without understanding what they'd done to me. Over the next week, I acted calm. Sarah thought I was ready to forgive her, and Daniel assumed I'd let things fade. I invited both of them to dinner under the pretense of wanting to talk things through. They agreed, thinking I was finally moving on. What they didn't know was that I had already spoken to Daniel's fiancée, Emily, the woman he was supposed to marry in a few months. She deserved to know the truth too. When the evening came, I prepared a quiet dinner. Sarah dressed up as if everything was fine again, and Daniel arrived nervously. A few minutes later, Emily showed up. Sarah's smile faded instantly when she saw her. I handed Emily my phone and played the short recording I had taken that morning. I caught them. Silence filled the room as the truth spilled out again, this time in front of everyone. Emily's eyes filled with tears, and Daniel sat frozen, realizing his double life was over. Sarah tried to explain, but no one wanted to listen. Emily walked out, heartbroken but thankful she knew before marriage. I told Sarah calmly that I would be filing for divorce. No shouting, no drama, just an end. I had already moved my things out of the house and transferred my share of savings to a separate account. I left her the home, not out of kindness, but because I didn't want to live in a place full of memories that hurt. Days turned into weeks. I ignored Sarah's messages and Daniel's calls. They both tried to apologize, but their words meant nothing. I focused on rebuilding my life. I started running again, visiting my parents more often, and spending weekends at the lake. For the first time in years, I felt peace, painful peace, but still peace. One afternoon, I received a letter from Sarah. In it, she wrote how she regretted everything, how Daniel had abandoned her soon after I left. She said she lost both her husband and her best friend in a single day. I didn't reply. Some things don't deserve answers. Months later, I heard that Daniel had moved to another city. I didn't care. My heart had already closed the chapter. The pain didn't vanish completely, but it taught me something priceless. Never to ignore red flags, never to give trust blindly, and never to lose yourself while loving someone else. I built a new life slowly, surrounded by people who truly cared. I still remembered Sarah sometimes, not with hate, but with sadness for what could have been. My revenge hadn't been loud or cruel. It was simple. I let her face the emptiness she created. In the end, I realized the best revenge isn't to destroy the one who hurt you, but to rise above them, stronger than before. I walked away from the ashes of betrayal and found a new version of myself, one who finally understood that peace is worth more than revenge, and self-respect is the greatest victory of all.